Hey, we're live. Yeah, there's no intro music today because Mercadal is out, and he's the one that does all the technical things. And
Fair enough.
because I am on a cruise ship, I don't have the technical. I got to be on my phone, so I don't have the laptop capabilities. That, anyways, whatever. Welcome to the What's Up, Bro podcast. I am Nery Saenz, and with me, as always, is Mike Valdes.
What's up?
I,
Yeah, thank you for
I,
pronouncing it correctly.
that's right,
Uh,
Valdes.
Valdes. Yeah, dude, it's just the two of us, so we can talk sneakers for 2 hours.
Oh, sweet Jesus! Thank God. I didn't know you were a sneaker guy. I just,
Yeah,
by the way, as a disclaimer to anybody, because I know a lot of fandoms, and I personally haven't experienced this with sneaker culture, but I know a lot of fandoms in general are very protective of their fandom. So
oh
they're
yeah,
like, "Oh, you're not a real," you know what I mean? There's a lot of gatekeeping.
yeah.
And again, I haven't experienced that with sneaker culture, but I will say, just as a disclaimer, I just got into, like, I've always admired sneakers, but as a kid I always grew up so broke and so poor that I could never
Same.
afford, like, I didn't get my first pair of Jordans. I got the 11s when they first came out, and they hurt my feet so bad that I returned them a week later.
Sure. Yeah,
So
I don't blame you.
I never actually had Jordans until like 2 years ago, when my best friend gave me a pair of Jordan 11 lows for my birthday 2 years ago. And
Yeah.
and then in March of this year, I bought my first pair on my own. Like, bought my first pair, and then since then it's been
So
pretty
many.
fucking chaotic. There's so many.
Yeah,
It's pretty
you have
chaotic
so many
now.
threes and fours. Yeah,
Threes and
well, I
fours,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
I fully think that the Jordan 1 is the high heel for men. Like
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
it's like what women go through to wear high heels is what men go through to wear a Jordan 1. Like it's
Yeah, I have yet to meet. Let me tell you something. I say this all the time, and we talked about this privately a while back ago. But I have never bought a pair of Jordan ones because I tried them on once at a store, and they were so uncomfortable. And mind you, and this is something that I've learned as of late. I did not know this. I was dumb, naive to this. But when you lose weight, your foot gets smaller.
yeah.
I did not know that. I did not know that I was at that level of fat. Let me put it that way. I'll put it that way. I thought my feet were just I mean, a size 12 and whatever, but I
Yeah.
didn't know. But when I lost weight, the width shrank, and the only reason I knew that is because the one pair of wide Nikes that I had bought like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and then as of last year, my foot was like swimming in the shoe.
Whoa.
And so I noticed that. That's the only reason I knew that my foot had shrank as far as the width. Again, not saying that obviously those people who weigh 10,000 pounds and, obviously their foot is wider, but I did
Mhm.
not know that I was at that level.
Yeah.
And so apparently I was. So the Air Jordan ones I tried on years ago were so uncomfortable to me that I was like, and everybody who I bring it up to, every sneakerhead that pops into my DMs, everybody who's like, hey, you like sneakers? Me too. And they're always like, dude, my favorite is there, and then they'll send me a link or a picture of the Jordan ones,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yeah, they're not comfortable though, right? And then I've yet to experience somebody goes, nah, they're comfortable to me. Like, I've
Yeah.
never had one person be like, I don't know, man, they feel comfortable to me. Like,
Yeah.
every single person I've ever met and talked to about sneakers
That's the
goes,
price you pay for
yeah,
fashion. That's what every
they're
man
not.
says.
Yeah, every guy's like, yeah, no, but they look great. That's what
Yeah.
everybody says. Yeah, no, but they look great. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Bro,
but
there's a so yesterday I don't know if this interests you, but I immediately thought of you. So they're dropping Jordan 4s that are from um what is the movie? Do the Right Thing.
sure,
So the
yes. Oh, those
yeah,
look beautiful, dude. They look great. Yeah, yeah,
have you seen them? Yeah, they're
yeah.
so cool, dude. They're like they're a little loud for me
They're
personally,
Jordan
but
threes,
at
by
the
the way.
same
They're Jordan threes.
other threes, yeah.
Yeah, the threes.
I yeah, like they're a little loud for me personally, like but they're like so 90s, like which is so funny because like threes and fours are very 90s looking for me, like to me
They are
personally.
because they came out in the 90s. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So they look so like yeah, they just the silhouette of them are really nice. But it's funny because whenever I never really think about shoes that often, you know, but like cuz I have a lot of sneakers, but like I don't really think about them that often because I like a very vintage look and I like things that can go with everything and like things like that.
yeah,
And sometimes I'll wear dude, I wear um Reebok like those the C's, like the like the meme of like when mom takes you shoe shopping and it's the same Reebok, like I wear
yeah.
those, you know?
Right.
And what's so funny is like I didn't realize like my particular style until and you know this as a comedian, when you start doing black rooms and you start performing with black comedians, those
Right.
comedians are always checking your shoes.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Facts.
and they come up to me and they're like, "Bro, you're the only person I know that can rock like a Reebok and it looks good on you." And I'm like, "I don't know what to tell you, man. Like I just
Yeah,
there's just something about me. Like I don't know. But like
yeah.
I love that vintage look and like even the Jordans that I have are a very like worn out like vintage look. You know, they're not
Yeah.
comfortable, but but as I was
That's
telling
the
you
price
that
you pay. That's the price
yeah,
you pay.
the Jordan 1 is the high heel for men. Like it's like that's what it is, you know. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I didn't I like the threes and fours. The threes are more comfortable than the fours, so the threes are my favorite. But I also was that person where I was like, I don't like I wasn't really a loud color guy,
yeah.
as far as sneakers go, because I like being able to wear something that matches with everything.
Yeah.
And then the more sneakers I started buying. And by the way, again, I just to give the disclaimer, my collection is, I don't know, maybe 15 pairs, which sounds like a lot to the layman, but
Mhm.
when you get into sneaker culture, like 15 is such a low. Like
Oh yeah.
there are people that have entire rooms
Mhm.
full of sneakers from the floor to the ceiling type of
Yeah.
situations.
There's people that go to conventions to sell their sneakers because they have so
Yeah,
many. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. And so I say all of that to say the more sneakers I started buying, the more I was like, you know, I could I like that color, but it's really loud for me. And it doesn't match with everything. I would have to wear something specifically that color. And but the more you buy, the more you're like, if I just okay, so I bought these like do the right things, that color, that bright blue.
Yeah.
I have a shirt that blue. I have a couple shirts that blue, right? And then you go, oh, the red Toros came out. The Toro Bravos come out. Those are really bright red. And you're like, I have a red
Yeah.
shirt. And then
Yeah.
you start in your head, you start kind of like defending the idea of like, it's okay to buy these loud colors because
Yeah.
I don't have it's if you only have one pair, that one pair should be like black or white because you got to be able to
100%.
match with everything. But then when you
Yeah.
start buying more, the more pairs you buy, the more in your head you can start defending the idea of like, you know what, I could buy this loud ass color because I don't have to wear it every day. I would just wear this shoe for this one particular outfit that I have, and then you start rationalizing. That's the word I'm looking for. Rationalizing that way.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
interesting because I was thinking about this yesterday where like I think it all goes back to childhood because you know you were saying that like you grew up poor and I did too and you know you couldn't afford Jordans and I couldn't either and a big thing for me was my mom was like I'll buy you a nice pair of shoes that's reasonable, not like a Jordan or whatever, but I'll buy you a Nike high top if that's what you want. Like I'll get you Air Forces if that's what you want, like, you know, whatever. But they need to be all black because she
right.
didn't want me to get them dirty. Right. And now I only buy white shoes.
Oh, she kind of like got you into that. Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Now I'm
Right.
like, I want to make them dirty. Like, so it's kind of strange, but
Yeah. I am I so I saw this reel the other day, and I always, by the way, this wasn't like one of those things where it crept up on me. But this reel the other day really hit home because I always knew consciously. It wasn't even subconsciously. I always knew consciously this is what I was doing. But when
Mhm.
I saw this reel the other day that I want to duplicate because I want to use this quote is I even said it, the first pair of shoes that I bought in March were the Dion's, and they were
Mhm.
the red and gold ones were when he was the year that he was with the 49ers in 95,
Yeah.
94. And so, and I'm a 49ers fan and blah blah blah. But I said it then. I was like, I'm just buying shoes that I wanted to buy as a kid that I couldn't afford, that my
Yeah.
parents couldn't afford to buy me. So this is really just all nostalgia buying. Like this is
Yeah.
all, and I've been saying this for the last few months. Every so often when I do an unboxing videos, like this is me just buying my childhood. I'm just trying to buy things that I could now afford as an adult,
Mhm.
and I could make the argument could be made that I shouldn't even be able to buy these now because again, as an adult with kids and family, you have the whole responsibility thing. It's like, yeah, you can spend $150 on shoes, or you can spend $150 on something with for your family, right? But
Right.
this is the one. Um, I'm just buying my childhood is all I'm doing
Fair
is like
enough.
trying to, and I again very conscious of it. But I saw a reel about it the other day that was like, when people ask you why you spend so much money on your sneakers, it's like I'm just buying shit that my 10-year-old self couldn't like, was all I was dreaming about when I was a kid was like getting and not just sneakers, but sneakers and video games and
Of
these
course.
things that all my other friends would have. And I don't want to say all my other friends. There was like one friend that would get the pair of Jordans, and then there's another friend that would get the video game system that I wanted, and
Mhm.
et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, I just never had the money for that. My parents never had the money for that, you know. And I kind of got sentimental, emotional one day when this is a true story. I remember this because so my son, right, he's into hockey. He plays roller hockey. He's now going to
Yeah.
be in an ice hockey seminar of a summer camp. And he's a big Florida Panthers fan, and he has like a bunch of Florida Panthers sweaters. And I got emotional because, and he doesn't know this, but I got emotional because he was like, "Hey, can I get the sweater?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, get the sweater." I remember asking my dad, going up to my dad with an East Bay catalog in hand,
Wow.
and just wanted a 49ers sweater, like just a regular ass crew neck sweater. It wasn't even like a flash. It wasn't even the starter jacket that
Right.
cost $200. It was a literal, and I remember it like it was yesterday. It was $45. It was 44.99 in East Bay, and it was a regular ass. And then I was just like, "Hey, can I get this for Christmas, whatever?" And I remember my dad saying like, "Well, you do all your homework, whatever, and we'll try our best, and we'll get you your sweater. We'll see if we could get you your sweater." Like that was his response. His response wasn't yes, it wasn't no, get the fuck out of here. But it was like I looking back at it now, I could see it that he was trying to come up in his head with a way to how do I get this kid this sweater. And he
Yeah.
couldn't afford it. He couldn't afford spending $45 on a sweater. He's like, you already have a sweater. Why do you want another? And then you were in Miami. Also, you're constantly
Right.
sweating because you're a portly dude.
Yeah.
So why what? And I just like I got emotional when my son was like, "Hey, can I get this sweater?" I'm like, "Yeah, man." Like it was a Martin's thing, and he was like, "Hey, can I get this jacket?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, get the jacket." Like I was just like, because I
That's
didn't have that.
awesome.
I didn't have that as a kid, you know.
Of
So
course.
pay for nostalgia as a motherfucker, man.
Yeah, man.
I know you're not into sports. I know you're not into sports, but the Knicks won in five. The Knicks won the championship series, and as a fan of the Miami Heat, growing up. Speaking of growing up, we were trained and that we don't like fans of the Miami Heat do not like the Knicks, right? And the Knicks for a long time in the 90s, it was like between the Heat and the Knicks as far as the Eastern Conference and blah 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 and that stuff there. And the Bulls, I guess, obviously, but
Yeah.
within our Atlantic Eastern Conference. And I know there's a lot of Heat fans now that are still like F the Heat, screw the Knicks and blah 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 and all that stuff there. I've never been that kind of sports fan where I hate on a specific team.
Oh, me
I
neither.
I will say I hate specific team fan bases. So like as a
Sure.
49ers fan, I hate the Dallas Cowboy fans. So
Yeah.
therefore I hate the Cowboys just because their fans are uber annoying, right? There's like a couple teams like that I feel like that about. The Eagles are another one that I hate their fans. I don't hate the team, I just hate their fans.
Yeah.
Because they're very annoying, especially now the day of social media. But I was like cheering for the Knicks, and I know a lot of Heat fans were like, how can you be cheering? I will forever hate the Knicks. And I'm like, but they haven't been relevant in 25 years. And the Heat
Yeah.
have like won championships since then. Like it doesn't, I never resonated with them. I never resonated with the Heat, with the hating of the Knicks thing. I'm just like, okay. I mean, if it's the Heat versus the Knicks, I'm obviously rooting for the Heat, but I'm just in my mind, I'm like, you can't be happy for a team that hasn't won in 53 years. You can't be like, I think that's a dope ass story. I just like
Yeah,
the
I think
story of it.
something that's so cool is that they finally won. And like for the loyal fan, that's so awesome. Like it's like it must feel so great to finally be like, man, like we finally did it. Like it
Yeah.
just there's something to it. Like that about sports I love and I can get behind.
Now
Because
you're not a big sports fan in general, right? Like there's no like
in
team that you're like,
general, like
yeah,
I know what's up because everybody in my family is into sports.
okay,
So I have to kind of know what's going on if I want to talk to people. But it's not really anything that I like. You know what I mean?
right,
So but I do know what's up. Like for example, one of my favorite stories of all time from when I was a senior in high school. Uh we went to a baseball game, and I'll never forget this because it does have to do with fandom. And we went to a Baltimore Orioles game as part of our senior trip, and it was them against the Boston Red Sox, and the cheaper seats were where all the Red Sox fans were sitting, right? And so when the Orioles were winning, um, one of our classmates thought it would be funny to like taunt the Boston Red Sox fans. And every time that they scored a run, we just go, let's go Yankees. Like, and so the Boston Red Sox fans were so mad at us. They were flipping us off, throwing batteries at us. I mean, it was like one of those like hilarious things, but at the same time, like that's what that's why like yeah, that's why fandom sucks because like Boston Red Sox fans throw batteries at Santa. You know what I
Jesus
mean?
Christ.
Like,
Well,
like
that was the Eagles, by the way. The Philadelphia Eagles, they literally threw snowballs at Santa Claus.
yeah,
It's like this very well known story, because Philly fans just are just trash. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Like it's a whole batteries is a whole other level, I guess.
yeah,
But I always wonder because again, I'm a sports fan, but I always wonder how like I never push it upon my kids because I don't want them to resent. So like even like I'm a fan of Superman, right? Specifically
mhm,
Superman. I never pushed it upon my kids. I never pushed that they have to love Superman. I'm like I never did that. I didn't even do that with comics in general. I never even did that with like just anything. I'm like anything that I love, like the 49ers, like I'll now that my two older kids are older, I'll now get them a 49ers shirt or something.
yeah,
Uh, but that's only because we're going to a 49ers watch party and I'm not gonna be embarrassed. So you're gonna
right,
wear some shit. And then by the way, I'm not ever forcing them to wear that shirt during the like I'm not even forcing them to watch the games. I'm like my
yeah,
son this past season, my son was like, hey, like I want to learn about football. I'm like, cool, that's great, let's do it. Like I'll teach you whatever. But I was never pushing it upon him. So my question to you, Valdes,
mhm,
is my question to you is so your whole family's into sports, but you never got into like never nobody was like, hey, let's
no.
watch sports. You were just like, all right,
No, I have a joke about it in my stand up. I say like being somebody like me is really weird on Thanksgiving because I always have a family member that could have gone pro but didn't because they tore their ACL.
right,
And and so like it's very like there's a lot of could have gone pro people in my family.
right.
And mostly on my mom's side.
You got
Um
Uber drivers in your family? You got a lot of Uber drivers in your family? every Uber driver I've ever had is like, I was a
yeah.
doctor in my other country. Sure you were, bro. Sure
Yeah.
you were. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
Well,
worries me about that country's medical situation because you get lost with a fucking map. So this is
it's that's
worrisome.
really funny. So like it's funny like so I have an uncle that who that joke is about is my uncle. And to make it really serious for a second, not like be a joke or whatever, but like I know that it's real because he's like a very depressed drunk, you know?
Oh, right,
And
right,
so
right,
like so all those stories I know are real, because
right.
you usually don't hear those stories like I'm sure everybody has those like, when I was in high school stories, but like
Sure.
his are like legitimately like, he trained with I think the Atlanta Braves or something and like was
Right.
really close to being their pitcher and yeah, just tore his ACL or whatever. And like, the joke that I make about it in the thing is like, Mikey, I could have gone pro, but I tore my ACL. And I'm like, you're a hot dog eating competition person. Like,
Yeah,
why do
yeah,
you need your ACL for that? Like
yeah.
it's very stupid, um but that's the true story. Is like that's what it is. And yeah, like and my sister is, since she was maybe, and I don't know this the psychology behind this, Nary, but my thought is my dad wanted another boy, and he
Oh,
he took her to play softball at like 3 years old, and like she fell in love with softball and whatever, and she's like, and basically he was like, I got a theater kid, I want like a boy now.
now let me ask you. Let me ask you. Now I want a real boy, like Pinocchio. My question. And here's the thing: did your family have like a theater background? Did they come from a theater
Not
background? Is
even
there
a
any,
little bit.
so there's nobody.
I'm the
There's no.
black sheep in my family, dog.
So,
Like,
oh, it's more like a pink sheep. But yeah, so
yes,
you're yeah.
exactly. I'm the
So
flaming sheep in my family.
but there was never somebody who was like took you to the theater and be like, hey, this is a theater show. Like, how did you get? Like, how did you find it? Is my question. Like, how did
Through
you?
so funny enough, it was through because my mom and my parents like worked a lot. And so because of that, like, when you're a 90s kid, you're kind of raised by TV.
Sure, of course.
And
Yeah.
so because of that, especially because sitcom is so like theatrical with just
I'm I,
cameras.
I'm one of the few kids that Mr. Drummond's raised that did not do drugs. So,
Yeah, fair enough.
because
Fair enough.
the 3 kids he raised on that TV show all got fucked up. So,
Yeah, and I'm one of the kids Cosby raised that didn't
uh,
get fucked up either. So so yeah, what's so funny? No one, a lot of people don't talk about this. Like, his name is Dr. Huxtable. Why is it called the Cosby Show?
yeah, I
like
know, so funny,
like it's
so
like, why?
funny.
Who's Cosby?
Who's
like
Cosby? He's Dr.
so
Huxtable. They could have called
yeah,
him the Huxtables. The show should have been called the
the
Huxtables.
Huxtables, yeah. So like, but anyway, so yeah, like it was that. And then in sixth grade, I mean, you were a 90s kid. I don't know, you're a little older than me, but like, were you a Nickelodeon kid? Like, did you watch like all that and
S-
stuff like that?
So Nickelodeon, and again, I hate to do this whole thing because it sounds like I'm a woe is me guy, and I'm not.
Sure.
But Nickelodeon was on cable, and you had to pay for cable, and we never paid. We
Yeah.
didn't have money. We didn't have
Yeah, I
money for
get that.
cable.
Of
So
course.
every once in a while, and I wish I could tell you the frequency of it, but every once in a while we would get that. Hey, this week is free. You get
Oh, I
free cable
remember
for
those weeks. Yeah.
yeah, you get free cable, you get free HBO for a week. And like there
Free
would be certain
HBO. Yeah.
times, right? So there'll be certain times where they would just give it to you for free so to entice you to subscribe. But that was never an option for us because it wasn't like we weren't subscribing because we didn't want it or we didn't think it
Hmm.
was good. We weren't subscribing because we didn't have money. But every
Sure.
once in a while, Nickelodeon will give us that free week, and then that's what I would enjoy that the shows. And I was always a fan when I was a real little kid. I was a fan of Double Dare.
Oh yeah, of course.
um and
Love that
then
show.
when I got a little older, there was a game show that had them doing some like Aztec like course, like it was like a physical
Legends of the
course
Hidden
that they were
Temple.
Legends of the like I don't even remember the name of the show. I remember watching the
Hmm.
show, like this show was awesome, but again,
Yeah.
because we didn't have money for the cable throughout the year, I only watched it for like that free week or free 2 weeks, whatever it was, whenever they would give it. It was dope.
Also, by the way, Mark Summers, the host of Double Dare, started the whole like wearing wearing Jordans with a suit.
Did he start it? I know he did it,
Hmm.
but I didn't know he started it. That's dope.
No, he
Yeah, that's
started that.
dope.
He started
Have
that,
you
and then
have you have you ever seen his interview on the Tonight Show?
it's the greatest interview of all time.
It was the best when he just talks shit to fucking Burt Reynolds in his most Burt Reynolds era, and in
Yeah,
his peak Burt Reynolds era.
makes fun of his
And
divorce, like makes fun of
yeah,
like
he goes, some of us are still married. He's like, yeah, he's like,
dude.
and he's like, holy
For
shit.
for the people that have not seen this interview, it's one of the greatest interviews of all time. Like
Yeah,
Burt Reynolds fully is treating him like he's the host of a kids game show and
yeah,
does not realize Mark Summers is a comedian.
yeah.
And Mark Summers rips into this man. Like it
And he
is.
just tears it apart, and it catches everybody so off guard again, because you got it in context. You got to understand, to the viewer, to the listener, if you watch this clip, you have to understand that Burt Reynolds, two things. Burt Reynolds was a bona fide movie star, like just
Yes. That
top notch.
he's the
If
top.
at that moment, he is the top notch of that era, of that, like, this is the guy. And he was also really famous for not being one to joke around. He was
Hmm.
not one to fuck around. Like, he was not the guy that had the jokes on him. He was always the
Yeah.
one to make jokes of people, but never. It wasn't, celebrities back then weren't what they are now, where they have,
Where they
everybody
could
has their own
take a hit
social,
a little bit.
where they could take a hit, and they make fun, they make fun of themselves, and they go on their own social media platforms. Like, back then there was none of that. So back then it was like, what you show people in this 1 hour of being on the Tonight Show is what people will think of you. And that's the only lens that people had. So he wasn't known for taking ribs. He was known for giving them, like,
Hmm.
and but he was always a star, even in his own movies. When you watch the movies, they're not making fun of him. He's the one making
Yeah.
fun of other people in the movie, right? So Mark Summers comes on as a second guest, as he should, because the first guest is fucking
Yeah,
is
Burt
Burt
Reynolds.
Reynolds,
Yeah.
and he just lays into him, like, he just talking, like, he brings up the divorce. He was like, yeah, some of us are still married, Burt. Like, some of us don't
To
get
be
divorced.
to
Like,
be
it's
fair though,
fucking.
to be fair, if you watch the clip, Burt goes at Mark first.
Oh yes, absolutely,
B-
absolutely. That's what. But he doesn't realize that. Oh, so, like, Mark is not doing that thing where he's like, oh, you're Hollywood royalty, or you're. He's like, I'm
Yeah.
not afraid of you, motherfucker. Like, I'm coming
Yeah,
right at you,
exactly. He's
and it
like,
was
you're on the
fantastic.
same couch I'm on, so
Yeah,
like ultimately we're like we're the same right now, which is true,
dude,
you know.
that takes so much balls. And it's so funny because that makes me laugh. Because if you ever remember the movie Happy Gilmore,
Yeah.
one of my favorite lines, and there's so many lines in that movie, but one of my favorite under the radar lines in that movie that I thought was hilarious when I was a kid, but now as I'm telling this story about Burt Reynolds, it makes more sense. Where
Yeah.
he sees a limo for the first time, and he goes, "Oh wow, there's a limo. Who do you think's in there? It must be somebody real famous like Burt Reynolds or something."
Yeah.
And that's such a throwaway line, because as a kid, I laughed because I was like, fucking Burt Reynolds. Who the fuck? Like, I knew who
Right.
Burt Reynolds was, but I was like, you're going to say somebody famous, say somebody really famous. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, dude, for a group of people, for a certain age, Burt Reynolds was like the high fucking, like, that's like saying Tom Cruise now. Like, oh shit, must be
Yeah.
Tom Cruise
It's
in
like
there.
saying Mr. Beast.
Mr.
Like,
That must be
he's fucking
Drewski.
Mr. Yeah,
That must
can
be
you
Drewski
imagine?
in there.
Can
Oh
you
shit.
imagine, bro? It's like you have to explain that to kids. Like back then, kids, Burt
Movie
Reynolds
stars
was
were bigger than influencers.
yeah, movie stars were bigger than Drewski. Did you know that?
No way.
No
No
way,
way.
that's crazy. They were bigger than Mr. Beast. Yeah.
Mm.
So did Burt Reynolds have a game show? No, he didn't. Yeah.
No, he didn't
Yeah,
have a game
it's
show.
so funny enough, going back to what you were asking. I had a friend at school that was on a Nickelodeon show called The Brothers Garcia, and through that I found out, like, you know being getting needing to get an agent, like, all these things. I was always wanting to be a professional actor since I was maybe in 5th grade. So like, yeah, it's
That's
just
interesting, man. I did not know that I had that dream, Mike.
mm,
So I had the same dream you had, but this is real talk. I did not know that that was possible. Like I
Sure.
always loved movies as a kid. Like I'm talking about 4 or 5 years old. I was always loved movies. And if you ask me now, I will tell you that I always wanted to be in movies. But I legitimately didn't. I thought as an immigrant to this country, watching all these movies, I thought you had to be born into that life. I thought people that were in movies were like, no, that's something that rich people do. I did not understand that you anybody, I don't mean everybody, but I meant anybody could go and make a movie. I didn't know that anybody could be in a movie. I thought it was like, no, if you're in a movie, it's because you're famous, and you're famous, and then your dad has to be famous, and you're like, you have to be in Hollywood, you have to be like, that's a different. I did not know that people could move to Hollywood. I didn't know Hollywood was a city, for example. I thought Hollywood was
Sure.
like a fictitious place of like just a algorithm of like an amalgamation of like where things happen, but I didn't know it was an
Yeah.
actual physical place. So it's so funny that you say that at 5 years old, you wanted to be a professional actor. I wanted to too. I just had no idea that I could. Like, same thing with
To be
comedians, with
completely
comedy.
to
I
to
was
be
like, I didn't know
completely
stand up was a
fair,
thing.
yeah, to be completely fair, bro, I'm 37 years old and I'm pretty sure I'm starting to realize that you were right. Because because
It's nepo babies.
because
That's a
it is
thing.
really it's a lot harder than you think.
Well,
But
it's very hard. It's actually very hard.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Somebody asked me. I had this epiphany a couple of years ago. I was in the airport with a juggler, and he goes, "Oh, how did you get into stand up?" And I told him how I got into stand up, and then he was like, "Oh, you never wanted to do stand up?" I always loved stand. I remember watching stand up when back in the days before there was an actual Comedy Central channel.
Yeah.
There VH1 every so often used to have a in between commercials. They used to have a VH1 spotlight where Rosie O'Donnell would come up and introduce
Wow.
somebody, and they would have like a 3 minute set. And I remember watching watching VH1 just in hopes of catching this VH1 spotlight. And always like as a 8, 9, 10 year old would watch Eddie Murphy Delirious on repeat
Yeah,
over and over and over again. And my mom would let me because she didn't know English, so she didn't know that those
for
words
sure.
that I
Of
shouldn't be
course.
listening to those.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And so I remember like even at that age, so 9, 10, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, watching Eddie Murphy Delirious, reciting it verbatim at school, right? So I always loved stand up, but I didn't know that anybody could do stand up. I thought that
Yeah.
stand up was again, it's on you're on TV, bro. That's something that people that are on TV do. It's like, oh no, wait, it doesn't. But yeah, it's a whole. And then I remember my friend, the juggler, he was like, Billy, shout out to Billy. He goes, Billy Purdue. He goes, how come you never thought about that you were able to do it? And I never thought about this in 40 plus years of my life. And I was like, because I never saw anybody that looked like me do it.
Mm,
I always like there was nobody who was like, oh, that's a kid from Miami. Like I never saw a fat Hispanic kid from Miami. I always saw good-looking white people, and I was like, that's so cool. I wish I was Rambo. Like that was it. That's the extent of
fair
like
enough.
it wasn't this idea of
Well,
uh
dude, I'll tell you right now, I felt the same way until I was in class and I had a classmate who was on TV and I was like, "Oh, this is possible because a classmate of mine is doing this."
yeah, because it fucking did
You
it.
know?
And shout out to you because now you're that kid.
Mhm.
Because for the listeners, Mike is in a bunch of commercials,
Oh, thanks,
Walmart
man.
commercials, fucking starring in next to a fucking soccer player Suarez, one of
Mhm.
the best soccer players on the planet, just in
Yeah.
time for World Cup. Everybody's going crazy over World Cup shit,
Yeah, yeah.
and here's fucking Mike, fucking being Suarez's agent on Walmart.
Yeah.
I'm like, get the fuck out of here! Look at this guy's doing shit.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome, man.
Yeah, it's really it was so fun, man. There's more coming, but um they let me improvise a bunch and like that's the stuff that I'm really excited for. The stuff that's out right now is like my character is a bit more serious.
Right, scripted,
But
yeah.
yeah, because they're just trying to get it all kind of it's basically a fake 30 for 30, you know,
Okay, right.
so that's kind of the vibe they're going for, but it's gonna start getting wacky and hopefully it comes out soon, this week or next, the next episode, but we shot 4 episodes, so yeah, it was a fun time. It was a really fun time.
That's
So
pretty dope, man. So now there's gonna be some kid in Miami going like, "Hey, I fucking seen that fucker. I know
yeah,
that guy." And that's like that. Now you're that guy makes
yeah.
it possible for somebody else.
It's possible, man. I mean, it's a lot. Look, at the end of anything, my best friend said this where he's just like anything that's worthwhile in your life is worth fighting for, you know? And whether that be like your potential future wife or your marriage or kids or your career, whatever, like if it is worth it for you, it's worth fighting for. And
Yeah,
to me, like, I've been an actor professionally for 15 years. And granted, there have been hills and valleys, and there have been stuff that I've been in and things that I thought were going to be the big thing and I was cut out of them. Things that there have been a lot of things, but ultimately I just keep fighting because I ultimately love this and that's why I do it. The same with stand up, like I do it because I love it. And honestly, the best thing about stand up is the only thing I can control.
yeah.
Acting is something I can't control. Like
There's so
I
many
can
movie pieces because there's so many
yeah,
movie
like
pieces to acting, man.
I can only control how I am in the room, and whether they use me or not, I can't control that, but other than that, like stand up I can control, which is a great resource to have. And I love doing it. But funny enough, like I just a lot of the other things that I do in my career, like music and and stand up and playing instruments and things like that, like I love doing that stuff, but I kind of did that because I needed another way to express myself that I can control, and so that's why I started doing that. I kind of fell
That's
into it
funny
by
because
accident.
that's how I start. That's why I started doing the podcast. I started
Yeah.
doing the podcast, I guess 14 years ago, because I was doing stand up and I remember Robert Kelly. I was working with Robert Kelly. I was opening for Robert Kelly, and then he says podcasting is a new thing. You got to get into podcasting.
Hmm.
And I said, "Oh, I don't know anything about it. Like I know what podcasts are, but I wouldn't know how to even start one." And he was like, "Dude, podcast." This is what he said. He said that when he started stand up, all you had to do was be funny. He
Yeah.
goes, all you have to do is kill. You just have to worry about being a killer on stage and kills. Like now, there's so many variables that go into it. There's so many like, you have to be a social media person. You have to be into marketing. You have to know about Adobe Photoshop. You have to know like all to make flyers. You got to like, dude. There's all these things you got to do just to be able to promote your stand up. So being funny is not even a thing anymore because it's such a minority thing now. Because now if you could
Hmm.
promote yourself, whatever, he goes, but podcasting is a thing that while you can't get on stage in the times that you can't get on stage, podcasting is another creative outlet that you can showcase. And hey, look, this is my personality on podcast. And he's like, every comedian should have a podcast. And then he said this to me again 14, 15 years ago. And so I was like, all right, so cool. And it's so funny because I was there with Ramon Garcia, and this is his words. Robert Kelly. He's like, you could just call it two spicks in a mic, and I was like, probably not the name we're gonna go with. Probably not
Yeah.
the name we're gonna probably gonna go with a different name on that one. White guy from Boston. But
Yeah.
we're just gonna go with it. And it's so funny because a couple years later, I go, hey man, just to give you a heads up. A couple years ago, you gave me this advice about starting a podcast, and then I told him the whole two spicks with a mic thing. He goes, please tell me that's the name that you chose. And I go, no, no, you fucking racist bastard. No.
Come on, dude.
Uh
Come on,
fuck,
dude.
come on,
Please,
man.
you're
Come
gonna
on,
do it,
dude.
dude. Come on,
Dude,
dude.
dude,
Like,
dude.
yeah, he's
Uh
he's a wild man. Yeah,
yeah,
Robert Kelly is so funny, man.
he's a
It's
killer,
so
dude. His
he's
stand-up is
so
he's so good.
he's an absolute killer. Yeah, but like funny enough, I was just going to say, before I did stand up, I was really into music. That was like my thing that I was doing for a long time. Before, like, yes, acting was my number one, but like music was the thing. And it's so funny how you say that because like he hit the nail right on the head even with music, cuz now it's when I was like coming out with an album and everything in like 2015, all that stuff, that was to the point where labels were wanting to see a photo of the band because they could probably tell what kind of music you play just by looking at your picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's essentially what people were looking for. Like it was like now it's so different. Like now it's like you have to have a good song and a viral TikTok about the song and all these different things. And then there's probably a chance that you didn't even write it and you gave ChatGPT a prompt to do it for you. So like
Oh my
there's
God.
so much there's so much going on where like and this is a real statistic, like I believe it's like 20% of all Spotify playlists aren't even real bands. They're
Jesus.
fake AI bands. So if you were like, damn man, I really love this band, I can't wait to see them on tour. You never will. They're not
You.
real. So like
This is. I love the fact that we are now the reality of the fact that years ago, man, I wish I could look this up, but I'm on my phone, so I can't. But years ago, Al Pacino came out with a movie called Simone,
yeah, I
and it
remember that
was with a
movie.
completely AI generated, and
Yes.
they did it. It was an AI generated actress
Yeah.
that the world, only him and the creator of this program knew that it was a fake actress, and then the creator of the program died, so it was
Yeah.
only Al Pacino. And Al Pacino was I believe, a director. He played a director in this movie, and he was doing all of Simone's acting, right? And then
Mhm.
Simone got so big, the character of Simone got so big that he the real person became like overshadowed, like a nothing, like, oh, so this director wouldn't be shit without Simone. And he's like, fucking Simone's not a real
Yeah.
thing, not a
Yeah,
real guy,
Simone
it's a
is
computer
me. Yeah.
program, it's a computer program, whatever. And we're there now, we are there. That
Yeah.
happened, that movie took place years ago. By the way, that movie didn't even do well in the box office. It was a bomb, it bombed in the box
Mhm.
office. But I remember watching it going like,
Yeah,
oh,
because
this is a
people
cool.
thought that's not realistic.
Yeah. I remember watching it. That's so funny. I remember watching it going like, oh, this is a cool concept. But I was also one of those like, this is never gonna happen. But I was like, holy
Yeah.
shit, it's fucking happening.
It's
It's
100%
crazy.
happening. There's an actress who's signed by CAA, dude.
Yeah.
See, like
Yeah.
the biggest agency in Los Angeles and New York, and she's fake. Like it's absolutely, dude. I
Bonkers.
say this. I say this with 10 toes down, full conviction here. If you like, I grew up where you can I grew up in a time where I was told, listen, you are not better than anyone. Everyone is just as good as you are. Like, we're on equal playing field. We're all sinners in the eyes of God. If you see a movie starring this actress, I'm better than you.
Yeah. That's
Like,
that's
I'm fully better than you.
that's
Like,
so funny. Yeah.
like you must be the dumbest person on the face of the earth.
Well, here's
If
the
you,
thing. I think the only disclaimer I will give to that, the only caveat I will give to that is, if you watch this movie knowing that this is not a real actress, right? Because
fair.
I did not know about this until like maybe a month ago. I saw
Yeah.
a post. I saw a post of someone, and I was like, wait, is this real? Like, again, there's so much fake shit going on nowadays that
Yeah.
everything I read, everything I see, the first question is this, or not the first, maybe I always try. I get on Mercadal for this. I'm Mercadal for this. I send him shit that it's entertainment, and he goes, "Oh, this is fake and phony baloney," and I'm like, "I know, it's
Yeah.
entertaining. It's just
Yeah.
entertainment." So my first thing is always, I watch something at face value for the entertainment purpose of it, right? If it's an entertainment piece, not political, not whatever, but if it's for entertainment, I'll watch it as an entertainment piece. And then my next question is, wait, is this real? Like, is this really
Right.
happening?
Well,
You get
and I
those
think
stories. You get those stories about that lady who got, there's a mugshot of some lady who, quote, got arrested because for a year she was breaking into her ex-boyfriend's apartment and
yeah,
slightly rearranging shit just so that he
that's
would think
great.
he was going crazy. And I
Yeah.
thought, fuck, that's hilarious.
That is really
Wait,
funny.
is this real? Like, I was like, is this like, it did that? I don't know if this really happened, but fuck, if it did, it was really funny. That's really entertaining.
I mean, I took it
Um,
at face value when you sent it to me, and I was just like, "That's just a really smart way to get back at
yeah,
somebody." You
right.
know,
Like, it's
like,
all these things. And again, even if it is fake, I thought, well, it's entertaining. But in my mind, I was like, I wonder if this is real. So when I read the article, when I first read a month ago. So I'm pretty late because I know I'm not new at this.
yeah,
I know I'm not the first one. So that fake actress, that
mhm,
completely AI generated actress, I just learned about this a month ago. I was like, wait, that's a thing? Is that real? There's an
yeah,
actress that's signed by fucking CAA? That's wild
yeah,
shit, man.
yeah. It's wild, dude. And what's crazy too is like, to kind of piggyback into something that we were going to talk about today. It's like we're getting to a point right now where everything is so much about entertainment, and we then wonder, is this real? And we're getting to a point where like people are going to the White House to do a UFC fight, and it's
That's
like
so wild.
which is nuts. Like I thought about this on my walk to yesterday, where I was just like, I'm really starting to like, I'm gonna have to start saying that I'm sorry to all the men that were talking about the Roman Empire to me so much, because like now I'm starting to see it,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
like
yeah. This is always happening. So, the UFC fight happened on the White House lawn, which is so crazy, And I love the fact that there are some people who are still calling this the America's birthday thing, and I'm like, America's
America's
birthday is
birthday.
July 4th. Like, this
It's
is.
so stupid.
Do you know what? Do you know when it happened? Do you know the date that it happened? It was on Trump's birthday,
Yeah.
not America's birthday. So it was
Yeah.
just weird. Like the facade of like it being for America. It's like this was for him. Like, what are you talking about? I don't. And
Yeah.
and again, I'm not even giving my personal opinion or feelings about the administration or the president, but call a spade a spade. Like, just say it's for his birthday. Don't say it's for America. America's birthday is July 4th, which, by the way, is only like 2 weeks later. Like, you could have
Yeah.
just waited. Like, I don't understand.
Which
It's not a.
even then it's so Roman Empire-y,
Oh,
because
so
it's like,
stupid. Yeah,
for
absolutely.
my
Hey,
birthday I'm gonna
every
have two men fight, and then I'm gonna say whether I like it or I don't.
yeah.
And it's like, this is Gladiator. Like
and to go even one layer deeper than that, to give another analogy of why it's Roman Empire behavior. It's like, hey, people can't afford food or gas or the cost of
yeah.
living. Let's throw a celebration, a gladiatorial celebration, to keep people's mind off of the fact that they can't eat or
Yeah.
afford houses. Like,
It's
that's
just
exactly what the fucking
insane.
Romans did. That's literally
Yes.
what the Romans did. They were like,
It's just
oh,
insane.
come to the Roman Colosseum so you can see these gladiators fight, and we'll hand out bread. And then there were people there just for the fucking bread. And
Yeah.
they're like, well, we might as well stay for the fight because we got bread now. Like, this is.
It's crazy,
But
dude.
Nate Bargatze, who I'm a fan of, I met
Me
Nate
too.
a thousand years ago.
Yeah. You
Me and Nate
told
both
me a
opened.
hilarious story
Yeah, me
about
and
you
Nate
and Nate.
both opened up for Angela Johnson a thousand years ago, and we worked together for I think it was 2 or 3 weeks in a row. We did Miami Improv, Fort Lauderdale Improv, and then West Palm Beach Improv, just back to back to back. And I was the MC, and he was the feature. And I remember that last week that we worked together, he was like, I remember it was the week that the Miami Heat were gonna acquire LeBron James, and
Mhm.
then first it was Chris Bosh, I believe. And then I said, I think we might be getting LeBron James too. And then he goes, "Oh man, come on, don't be stupid." He's like, "Don't. That's never gonna happen. That's a pipe dream." He's like, "That would never happen." And then I remember like 2 days after we worked together, it happened. LeBron James went to the Miami Heat, and I texted him, and I was like, "Hey, how's that LeBron James dream coming?" And he goes, "Oh, I give credit, man. You were right, whatever." So very
Yeah.
nice guy. Always thought he was funny. Always thought he was hilarious.
Yeah.
Very nice guy. I have followed his career throughout because again, when you meet somebody when you're both features and MCs, like it's always cool to see somebody make it. Like, oh man, somebody made it, and he was, oh, again, very nice guy.
Of course.
But he's always claimed to not be political, and
Mhm.
so that's fine. I think I these are very weird times because I think the whole "I'm not political"
Yes.
thing used to fly a lot better in the past, because nowadays everything is so politicized and everything is political, even the things that are not meant to be political, like for example sports. This administration has shoehorned themselves into on
Mhm.
every level, whether it be college football or the NBA finals, or whatever it is. They just shoehorn themselves into it. So things that used to be okay when people would say, oh, I'm not political, politics is now like infesting everything. It's
It's in
infiltrating
everything.
it's in everything. So that the statement of "I'm not political," which Nate Bargatze has said multiple times, um, kind of doesn't fly anymore. However, people will kind of start looking the other way, right? But then he
Mhm.
went to the UFC 250 America 250, whatever the hell the thing is called, stupidest name in the world. But he went to it and he had a picture with Robert, was it Robert Kennedy, whatever the guy's name is,
I don't know. Oh yeah, John F.
uh,
Kennedy Jr. or I
no,
don't know.
no, that's not John
RFK.
Kennedy. RFK. There you go. I think it's Robert.
RFK.
Anyways, so RFK and
Rory
his wife.
Scovel has a Rory Scovel has a great joke where he's like, "Whatever RFK Jr. says that I shouldn't take, give me 3 of them."
Yeah, that's facts. Those are facts. Um, and
Yeah,
I have a worm in my brain, and that guy. And by the way, those are actual quotes. I'm not even
yeah,
misquoting here. I'm not even. I wish I could come up with something for comedic purposes to say that would be
yeah.
crazier than the things that he's actually said, but I can't come up with anything. I'm not
We
that
might
creative.
the podcast actually might get demonetized because that impression was so spot on.
Yeah, now it's gonna be like, hey, do you have Robert Kelly on the podcast? Do you have Robert? Do you have Robert Kennedy on the podcast?
Yeah.
No, but it's a ridiculous
Dick.
situation.
Come
Hey,
on, Dick.
kid, that's so funny. Can you? I
Yeah.
would love to hear a podcast with Robert Kennedy and
And Robert Kelly.
Robert Kelly. Just the two contrasting voices of those two.
Dude,
Like
I don't know if I'd stop laughing. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like dude, and they're both from Boston.
yeah.
Dude, I take what you want.
Yeah, but
Just
seriously, dude, come on.
seriously, dude, you got a brain? You got a worm in your brain? Come on, you got a worm in your brain? Yeah, but what happened was that and it's just, oh my god, that would be
Dude,
fantastic.
I'll never forget, dude. Robert, dude, freaking Bobby, dude. Bobby on a podcast was drinking through a thermos. Rosebud Baker was a guest, and she was like, "What are you drinking?" And he says, "I'm drinking piss." And she's like, "No, you're not." And then he's like, "Yes, I am." And then he goes, "Do you want to try it?" And then gives it to her, and she drinks it. And she's like, "Oh my god, why is it hot?" And she's like, "Cause it's piss. It's my piss." And it was broth, but like he convinced her for like a good 5 minutes that she had just drank piss, and it was
That's
the
so great.
funniest thing. Like that's such a Bobby Kelly thing to
It's
do.
such a good thing. It's such a good
Like
thing.
he's so because he like especially with comedians, like he's just a bully. Like he's very much a bully,
He
and
very much is. He's very aggressive. He's very
if you
aggressive. Yeah,
can't
yeah.
punch back, then he then he like then he gets mad at you for making him feel bad,
Yeah.
which,
What the
which
fuck,
is
dude?
something that
What
I
the fuck,
do.
dude? What the
Yeah,
fuck, dude? You gotta fucking come on. You could just sit there and take it, man. Come on. What the fuck,
yeah.
dude? Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't
yeah.
just sit there and take it. Like, nah, I feel like an asshole. Like,
You know what? You know what's so funny? So in my life, throughout my personal life, I've always been pretty good. I used to call myself Switzerland in the sense of like, when one
yeah,
person doesn't like another person, when one person argues with another person, when one of your friends argues with another one of your friends, I'm usually the one like that can see both sides of the argument. And
of course.
my friend John Westling recently, uh, not that he coined the phrase, but he used a phrase that I hadn't heard before in this format, in this topic, in this context. He said, "Oh yeah, I've always been a snake charmer too." And I'm like, "Yes, that's a good way
Hmm.
of putting it. Like you could just like, you know what I mean?" So
Yeah.
with certain people who are very polarizing, like
Hmm.
there are certain people in this context of be a comedian who I could bring up to another comedian, and there's always a response, but it's always a very strong response. It's either like,
Sure.
"Oh, I love so and so, bro, that guy's the best," or like, "Man, fuck so and so, that
Yeah.
motherfucker." Like there's always that's I'm friends with a lot of polarizing figures like that, a lot of polarizing within the community.
Yeah.
And I always said this. I love the fact that I'm able to. I love that love like Bobby Kelly's podcast. What's up, dude?
Hmm.
Or that's not it. It's
Yeah.
you know what, dude? Yeah. The
Yeah. You know what,
YW. Yeah,
dude?
yeah. You know what, dude? Podcast is one of my favorite podcasts of all time, and I would listen to that. Now it's the Regs, which is like a form of his of that podcast, but
Yeah.
with Dan Soder, who I love again.
I love
But
Dan
all these,
Soder.
but I love all these. Like so, he's very aggressive, like right. And then one of my favorite humans on earth, one of my favorite humans, friends, and comedians on earth is Angela Johnson, who is
Yeah,
like
she's great.
the polar opposite, personality wise, not aggressive, not like it's a whole different thing. and I've done shows with, and I'm just giving these two people because those are the two that those are the two that I could think of that have polar opposite
Yeah.
personalities. And I've been on the road with both these comics, and it's so cool how they have cultivated, like we all do, hope to do, cultivate their own audience.
Yeah.
And like Bobby's fans will comment on his shit, on his videos, and on his posts. Fuck you, dude, you suck.
Hmm.
And they put a little heart emoji or whatever. And it's like,
Right.
because that's the energy that he has, that he brings,
Yeah.
right? That's the vibe that he brings, that he cultivates those people who, and then out those Angela's fans would never say that. Would
No.
never in a million years say that. And again, Bobby's fans are saying it out of love. They're like, not,
Hmm.
this is not a shot. But to them, that's the vibe that he has. And I always love that as comedians, as performers, we are, for the most part, again, haters are haters, but we're not talking about haters, we're talking about our fans.
Yeah.
We can cultivate the kind of fans that we want. And if you want, like, I'm not that aggressive dude who, I'm personally not that super aggressive dude who wants all the smoke, right? Which is another reason we talked about this in the previous episode of WUBro, which is why we're not getting aggregated, because we're not saying crazy shit. We're not
Right.
saying outlandish, like, what? Robert
Yeah.
Kelly, he knows everything about everything. He's the best.
Hmm.
Like, we're not saying wild shit. We're just saying well, what I feel is common sense shit.
Hmm.
But with that comes your fandom, right? Like you could just like you could, and I just love the idea of like Dan Soder's like this. Dan Soder's one of the nicest human beings on earth, but
Yeah.
he hangs around Robert Kelly, and when he's with Robert, they're all like going at it. You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
that friendly bickering shit. It's like I just love that idea that personalities we can match our personalities to different people, to
Yeah,
different vibes.
you kind of cultivate, at least with with fan bases, like you kind of cultivate a mirror of yourself in a lot of ways,
Yeah,
because because you're right. Like Bobby's fans are very like, um like they'll roast you or like or
yeah, yeah.
whatever, to where
I use I
Angela's
use the
fan.
word I use the word aggressive, but I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean that in a
Sure.
very matter of factly. They're just an aggressive, because Bobby's more so because we're talking about, right.
Yeah.
So you were saying,
And Angela's fans are so like and to be fair, like Angela's fans, and this isn't a bad thing. This is actually the fan base that I wish I had. Is mostly female, mostly Christian, or not Christian anymore but grew up in it, so they're still
yeah,
nice. Like,
yeah.
so like it's
They're
very.
actually nicer. They're actually
Yeah,
nicer. They're actually
yeah,
nicer.
yeah, to be fair. I mean, the thing that I love the most about Angela, and it's so how I feel, is how she's like, I'm not religious, but me and Jesus are cool.
Yeah,
And it's like that's the most like accurate thing that I've ever
yeah,
heard. I fully believe that. Like that's and I think that her fan base is very much like that. Like there's very little to none, kind of
dude.
like
Her fans are awesome. Like her
comments. Yeah.
fans, I've got on the road with her, and her fans are so
Well,
like
they're
like
loyal as all get
yeah.
out too.
So aside from being loyal, they're also like, we baked you a cake and we knitted you a sweater. I'm like, what? What? What is happening here? That is
Yeah.
wild. Kind of like, this is wild. Like,
Yeah.
I know Gabriel used to get this. Like, Gabriel, when he used to do the improvs would tell me that the green room will be filled with cakes
Cake. Yeah.
that people made for him. And so
Yeah.
there would be like these 20 cakes in the green room over the weekend. And he was like, I can't eat all of these cakes. That'd be crazy. Even at his biggest, right?
Yeah.
But Angela's fans are like, hey, I knitted you a sweater and
Yeah.
I made, like, it's just
Well,
what,
they
like,
all
it's
have they
such,
all have an Etsy store, so like they're all
yeah,
trying to get their business out there.
they're all, and it's so great, man.
Yeah.
It's so
No,
great.
it's amazing. I don't
I
mean that as a
love,
bad thing.
it's not a bad thing. I don't
No,
think
it's
anybody
it's a
would take,
beautiful thing.
I don't think anybody would take that as a bad. I think people who have Etsy stores are like, goddamn right, I have an Etsy store. Like, I
Of
have an Etsy
course.
store.
Yeah, that's a
I
beautiful.
go check out my Etsy store.
Yeah.
I have an Etsy store full of t-shirts and sayings and stuff. And but yeah, it's so cool. Like, I love the idea. So, anyways, I say all of this to say Nate Bargatze is now facing backlash
Yeah.
because of going to this UFC thing where well, a lot of his fans are like, and if, I went into his, and I never do this, but I went into his social media to see what was, because I follow him anyways, but I was like, oh, Nate went on this. I wonder if he's what he said. He's like gone radio silent for days
Hmm.
now.
Of course.
At the time of this recording, it's been like 5 days since he posted something, and all I thought he was gonna turn off the comments, dude. But to his credit, he hasn't. I guess credit,
Hmm.
maybe, I don't know, maybe not a smart move, but all his comments are getting flooded with like, "How could you? How dare you?" Like he went to go see a fight. Like it's a
Yeah.
weird. I don't know where you stand on this. I'm interested to know where you stand on this. I don't think that was a good idea on his part, but then
Yeah.
again, I am being fully transparent here when I say I don't think I could take my personal beliefs out of this topic. So like
Yeah.
I could stand here and say like he just went to go see a fight, and then but I know I would not have gone to see that fight because of
Right.
the political implications that will come with it, the Titans. And I am just such a personal not fan of this administration, so much so that I would never see myself in that situation. But
Hmm.
again, I'm not Nate Bargatze. Like who gives, like I don't, like should he not be able to go watch a fight if he wanted to go watch a fight because he's a comedian? Does he now you have to make that calculated step of like, well, I'm gonna go watch this fight. I've been invited to the White House. I'm like, I'm not gonna go. Like this is a weird. There's a weird place for a comedian to be in because
Hmm.
it's athletes get this all the time, right? Like you win the championship, you're invited to the White House. So athletes, if you are an athlete, especially a professional one, which now even college athletes are professional because of NIA, um, name and what is it? Name intellectual. Anyways, so my whole point is, athletes have to think about this at some point. You have to think, hey,
Yeah.
am I gonna go to the White House if I get invited? Comedians, for the most part, we never have to think about this, right? We never
Yeah.
have to like start thinking, well, I've been invited to a fight. Should I go? Is this okay for my career? But it is like he's lost a bunch of followers on social media. He's like losing. People are commenting that they're not going to go to the rest of his shows for the rest of the tour for the rest of the year. And I just like, man. I mean, again, I like the guy. I had, I met him those 3 weeks, 15 years ago. He was the nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
Uh, I am very happy for his success. He had a movie come out recently, The Breadwinner.
Yeah.
And it just seems weird now that he decided to go to that fight. And I'm like, oh shit. But he
Well,
keeps claiming that, oh, I'm not political. And I'm like, you can't be like, I'm not political and then go to the White House
yeah.
for a fight. Like that's the opposite of not being political, man. You can't. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's
Solve like
tough.
it. Gotta,
It's tough because and when I saw this on the docket today, I was like, well, I kind of struggle with this because I like Nate a
so do I.
lot.
Yeah.
Like I think he's so funny. I think he's a great dude. I've never met him personally, but like I've only heard good things from friends of mine who have worked with him, and he's done monumental things for people for like openers and features in their career. So like for example, like getting somebody like, you know, like Aaron to do arenas, or getting somebody like Brian Bates to do arenas, and Julian
Or his dad,
McCullough,
or his
or
dad.
his dad, yeah, or and like a friend of ours, Nick Thune, to do
Yeah.
arena shows, and like kind of allow these people to like have their moment and like be able to be seen by thousands of people, and like and get the credit that they deserve. So like he's done a lot of great things, so I struggle with this topic, but it is also something that I was thinking about, where it's like, and I don't, and this is coming from somebody, and you can you could tell by the history of this podcast and how I've spoken about this, even on my podcast, any podcast I've ever been on. I'm not political and I'm not a sports guy, so I would never
Yeah.
go to either of these events.
Yeah. Right. This
like
is not. This is the anti Valdez event.
like it's just like, if it was at the if there was a UFC fight in Selena Gomez's ass, I wouldn't go. Like like you know what I mean? So like it's just, I mean, I might, but but
Yeah.
like,
I mean, hold on.
you
Hold
know,
on. Hold
like
on. Now.
I would have to do a couple hear me outs, but like I would, it's tough, like but what I'm saying is like, I think ultimately, and it goes to a bigger question: is this the first administration that we've ever had where making a decision as small, because it is kind of a small decision, of like, well, I do want to go to a UFC fight, and it just so happens to be at the White House, where now that fully means I support the person at the White House.
Yeah, it's very yeah, it's very polarizing. Here's the other part. He never posted the picture. The
Yeah.
person who posted the picture was Robert Kennedy's wife, who is Cheryl from whatever her name is, Cheryl from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Larry David's wife in that show. That's
Hmm.
the actress that took a picture with him and her husband, who's Robert Kennedy, and Nate Bargatze. She's the one that posted that picture. He
Hmm.
didn't post the picture. He didn't post. He like we would never have even known he was there. We the public would never have even known he was there
Yeah.
had that picture not come out. And it kind of seems like um strategic on his part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because he posts other things. He posts like, "Hey, I'm at this other place. I'm at this." You know what I mean? Like, he'll post other things on his social media, and I kind of feel like it was strategic. Again, this is not a indictment on his part. This is like he wasn't trying to flash and be like, "Hey, look at me. I'm at the White House." He wasn't.
Hmm.
He wasn't like, "Hey, look at me. I am I'm supporting this administration." He wasn't doing any of that. He was trying to like I don't again. I'm with you. This is because it's about a comedian who I have met. I'm not gonna say I know him, but I have met him in the past years ago, and I like the guy and I like his material.
Hmm.
This is very conflicting for me because I don't because if this would be a comic that I didn't like, I'll be honest with you. I'll be like, man, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Fuck that piece of shit. I'll be like, you know what I mean? If there
It's
was a comic
easy.
that I wasn't,
Yeah, it's easy to do that about Tony Hinchcliffe. Like, it's
ah,
easy,
yeah, like, well,
but
I mean, I said comedian. I didn't
yeah,
say,
fair.
but yeah, yeah. So I'm aware of the hypocrisy on my part that, oh, you're not being as harsh on Nate because you like the guy. You're right. I'm not. But also like it's a very weird time that we're living in where this kind of thing, and I don't like the phrase canceled because there's a difference between because nobody's canceling Nate. They're not
Right.
canceling him. They're just
Yeah.
the people, even the people in his comments are just saying, I'm not gonna go support you anymore. And there's a difference between those two things.
Mhm.
They're not looking to get him fired from something. They're not looking to cancel him from a TV show that he's on, but they're just choosing to not support him with their wallet. And I think that's
Right.
a decision that that's a choice that we all have. That's not canceling somebody. That's just like, hey, I don't want to go. It's the same, it's the financial equivalent to like, just keep scrolling, bro. Just keep
Yeah.
scrolling. Like, hey man, you don't like this? Just keep scrolling. You don't have to comment on everything. You just keep scrolling.
Yeah, man, it's a weird situation because like yeah, like I said, like it's just like because of where it is, because of where it was, and because of what it's like if this was just a regular UFC fight and Trump happened to be there, it wouldn't have been a big deal. Because
Nope.
it's
Now,
just like
correct. Correct.
well, Trump just happened to be there. And it's like, well, and what's so funny is like, because the first thought I had was like, these people went to his house, which like,
So funny.
I don't even think he sleeps there, right? Like he said something about
No, he sleeps at summits and meetings and cabinet meetings, and that's where he sleeps.
yeah, fair enough.
he, he doesn't sleep there specifically. He sleeps.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So like,
G7 summit. This is a good time to fall asleep. I'll fall asleep right
yeah.
here. Cameras on. Cameras on. All right, cool.
Yeah.
He fell
Just
asleep.
make
He
sure.
fell asleep during a fight. By the way, did you see that video?
I'm sure. Yeah.
So
I don't know.
he fell asleep during the fights, right? He was watching the fights and he was clearly out. Like his eyes were just he was clearly gone. And then somebody, like a minute later, somebody must have handed him a hat, like a USA hat, and he put the hat on because then you could no longer see his eyes.
Oh, wow.
But it's so funny because I was like, oh, he's clearly sleeping. And then somebody gave him a hat, like give grandpa a hat so he can fall asleep,
That's so
please.
funny. That's not I was just thinking about this yesterday where I was like if that were my dad, not possible. My dad sleeps like Homer Simpson. Like just
Oh yeah, yeah.
like mouth open, tongue to the side. Like just like like what's so funny is like my parents, because we were talking about this before about how you were telling me like how did you get into theater and all this stuff. My parents are the typical like sitcom trope of like wife likes going to the ballet, and husband just sleeps the whole time, and when the
Mm,
intermission happens goes, oh, that was good. Like, just like
yeah.
that is my
Oh,
parents.
he's
Like,
you're married to Tim Taylor.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, my
you're
mom,
married. Your
my
mom's married
yeah.
to Tim Taylor. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, my dad is Tim Taylor. Yeah, it's just,
Uh, is he very
yeah.
handy with the tools and stuff? Does he do that?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, he's handsy with tools. I mean, the only difference, like, he's my dad is if Tim Taylor and Ned Flanders were one person, because
Oh,
like
that's interesting.
my dad is also very heidely hodely neighbor at the same time, because he's very talkative to all the neighbors, extremely, like, a church going guy, like, just wanting to invite everybody to church, like, that kind of guy. And then,
Actually, Ned Flanders is Ned Flanders because Ned Flanders is a very handsy guy too. He knows tools. He knows his way around tools.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So
He
your dad
my
is just
dad
Ned Flanders. He's
my
just
dad isn't secret buff like Ned Flanders. My dad isn't
oh,
super sexy Flanders though. You
right.
know? So
One of
yeah,
my
like,
one of my favorite tropes about Simpson characters, whenever they take off their shirts, they're ripped. It's so funny to me.
yeah.
Same
Well,
thing with the
especially with
lawn guy.
Flanders.
Same thing
Yes.
with the lawn guy. The lawn guy takes off his shirt. He's super buff.
Yeah. It's so funny. Yeah. I love the Simpsons, but yeah, man, it's a weird situation. Like, I feel like, unfortunately, we have gotten to a point where, at least, and I've talked to friends about this, and this is coming from somebody who doesn't know. I don't know much about politics in history, but I do know about what's going on now, because everything's political.
Right.
So yes, I do agree with you in the sense of, like, you kind of have to have an opinion now, because there is no choice. Like,
Right.
it is in the choices are in your water. Like, they're
Yeah.
in everything. Like,
Very literally in your water.
yeah,
Yeah.
like everything, like, the political choices that you make are in your water. So, like, it's very difficult to not talk about. But um I mean, it all my I have friends that think that this whole, like, Republican Democrat thing all started with the Reagan administration, about
Oh,
everybody being villainized, essentially,
sure.
because now this is like the peak of it, where now it's like you can't wear the color red on a hat anymore. Like, it's
Dude,
like,
I so red is my favorite color. And
sure.
a couple years ago, I wanted to make a hat for the podcast.
Hmm.
For I believe if it wasn't What's Up, Bro, I believe it was for Mount Geekmore.
Hmm.
And I was running it by my friend Jeff, who was on the podcast. His name is Jeff. And we both wanted red, and we were like, we literally decided against it
Yeah.
because of the red hat thing. Like, I don't want to be seen as somebody wearing a red hat and be confused for,
Right.
like, it's a weird, yeah, you can't even wear a red hat. Like, he can't wear any red hat anymore. It's such a
Yeah, you
weird
can't.
vibe. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I like the
it's
I
super
like the idea of
strange.
your friend. I like the idea of your friend being like, it all started with Reagan. It's like, no, no. You should watch this show called Hamilton, and you just
That's so funny.
put shit
There
into
was
perspective for you. Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's a podcast I love listening to. It's a podcast called Guys, and it's just comedians making fun of, like Reddit commenters. and
Sure.
like
Yeah, yeah.
and essentially it's the funniest thing. And yesterday's episode was Ideas Guys, and there was a guy who posted, he said he said, "I want a social media app that's like Letterbox but for historical events." And the host said, "I have not stopped thinking about this since I read it." Which is the funniest thing, because it's like, oh, like, Greg disliked the Holocaust. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you
Yeah, yeah.
need to do a letterbox review of a historical
And then how do you? And then at that point, does liking mean that you like
that you
the
liked it?
that you liked it, or does liking mean that you like the fact that somebody brought it up? Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's that weird. I
Yeah.
have a friend who's a newscaster, who's a professional newscaster in Miami,
Yeah.
and she's always posting these. She's a news anchor, she's a news reporter, and she's sometimes
Hmm.
posting these awful stories of, like, so and so is on trial today for murdering his wife and children. and I want to like that post because I want to support my friend
Of
who is
course.
a
But you don't want
reporter.
to like that somebody murdered their children.
Yeah, but I'm like, now I
Yeah.
feel weird. Am I liking the fact that somebody killed their children, or am I liking the fact that there's a story, or that you, my friend, the reporter, posted the story? And it's always a weird, like, I feel weird clicking on like. So it's like,
Yeah.
so
Well,
I could just imagine the Reddit of like, oh, the Holocaust is like,
yeah,
don't like
or
that.
somebody posting those, like, pictures of them, like, at the hospital or something.
Yes.
They're like, "Oh, I it turns out, like, I had a stint in my heart, and they have to do this," and
You're like,
you're like, "I have to like it, right?"
you're like,
But
double
it's
tap,
so I
double tap.
funny enough, it goes back to something that Angela said. Angela says that a like has now become, "I have received the message, and I saw it." Like
Yes. Yes.
like, it doesn't mean I actually like it. It just means I saw the message, and I'm letting you know I saw it. You
Yeah,
know?
red. It's a new form of a red receipt. Here's a good
Yeah.
question. This is I actually have a video about this locked and loaded. I'm ready to post it.
Hell
Waiting
yeah.
to post it. About red receipts. Are you a red receipts guy? Do you turn your red receipts off?
I have them on, but I don't. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. I don't take it as personally as a lot of people. If that's what the question is.
No. The question is, do you have it on? Do you
Yeah.
because some people turn them off. Some people turn off the red receipts. Some people like
Well,
don't
yeah,
want you to
because
know
they're
that you read them.
yeah. Well, also there's like people that like don't want you to know that they read them, or um there's a lot. Like, I don't take it as personally as other
So
people.
I have my red receipts on, and I don't understand. Like, to me, people who turn them off, I'm just like, what are you hiding? Standing all 10.
That's
You
kind
read
of
the
how I
message.
feel. It's like, what are you
Yeah.
hiding from?
What are you hiding? Standing all 10. You read the message. Why are you hiding that you read it? Like,
Yeah.
you receiving something doesn't is not an indictment on anything. Like, if I send you some wild shit about, Epstein's Island, and you read
Mhm.
it, it doesn't mean that you were on Epstein's Island. It just means you read it. Like, I don't understand. So that's my whole video.
Unless the text was, "Hey, what's with this with you being on Epstein's Island?"
Yeah.
Then it's the article.
Hey, if you hey, I see an article that you are on Epstein's Island. Don't say anything, but just make sure you read it to let me know you acknowledge, and you like that's the only way that message is gonna get you in trouble. That red receipt is gonna get you in trouble. But my whole point in the video that I'm about to post, that I'll post later tomorrow or something, is like, why do you have your red receipts on? How much of a pussy are you that you're just like,
Yeah.
I don't want people to know that I read it. What the fuck?
Dude, you and I are so similar in this regard. And I'm actually really, it makes me smile ear to ear that we're both like this. I have nothing to hide from people. Like
Nothing.
like
What are you hiding?
I have nothing to hide from people. Like, people, like the I like this is something that's going to sound crazy to a lot of people. I'll just hand people my phone.
Yes, I do that all the time.
I'll just hand people my phone, and they're like, Are you sure it's okay?" Like, it's like, well, first of all, it isn't a part of my body.
Yeah,
And second of all, I have nothing to hide from you. Whatever
yeah,
you
yeah,
see on that phone, I know is on that phone. So,
yeah.
like, I don't
Also,
care.
the
You know?
things that you shouldn't be seeing that would be on my phone are already in the secret app. There, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not. What do you think? I'm a fucking amateur? You think I just keep
Dude,
shit laying around? I
I
move shit
remember
immediately, buddy. What are you talking about? But
I
same
remember
thing.
one
Dude,
time I
go ahead.
remember
Yeah,
one time I even no, I remember one time I even went to a doctor, and I had to my mom came with me because my mom gave me a ride. I had it was for an eye thing, and she had to drive me. And the nurse was like, "Is it okay if your mom is here while I ask you these questions?" Because,
yeah.
like, she was gonna ask me, like, like, "Are you sexually active?" Like, blah blah blah. And I literally said, "I have nothing to hide from her." Like,
Mm.
I and she laughed really hard. And, like, it's just, I don't care, man. Like, it's like, whatever you're gonna find out, I have no problem with you finding out, because I'm not
I think
embarrassed
it's
by it.
I think it's because I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we're stand-ups, right? The fact that we're
Probably, yeah.
comedians.
We're already
Because
telling people our most embarrassing stuff.
yeah, we're already putting that on stage on a
Yeah.
microphone for laughs, right? We're already doing this. It's like it's fine. Like I don't have any. I'm not hiding anything.
Yeah.
There's part of that, and which is so funny because if you think about it, every comedian who's ever really gotten in trouble, right? There's a couple of exceptions, but there's
Yeah.
for the most part when comedians get in trouble, there's always like, look, if you listen to a bit that he had, he's like he was telling you who he was.
100%.
Like
a
he was telling
hundred
you
percent.
he was telling you who he was. Like Cosby literally has a joke about slipping a Spanish fly in
Mm-hmm.
women's drinks.
Oh yeah.
Like he
Straight up.
has a joke about that, and it's like people were just laughing it off, but like he was telling you who he was. Louis C.K. was telling you who he was.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is not like we're not really hiding anything. You people just
He didn't have a joke about asking women if he could jerk off in front of them, but he did have a repertoire that would make you feel like he seems like that kind of person. You know,
yeah, I
like
mean, he has a joke. Do you know? And I don't even know now that we're on. Like I don't. He has a joke about rape. Have you ever heard his joke about rape? Which I
I
used
think
to
I
laugh.
have, yeah.
I used to laugh all the time about it because I thought the absurdity was funny. And then you
Sure.
look back and you go, "Oh, this is probably isn't funny anymore." But he had this joke about
100%.
rape because rape is never funny. It's never. You should never rape a woman. It's always you should never force a woman not to do what she doesn't want to do. It's disgusting and gross. You should never rape anybody, unless the woman you want to have sex with doesn't want to have sex with you too, then at that point, what are you supposed to do? Like that's the joke, and it's so again because in the ridiculous space of it, you go, "Oh, that's hilarious." Obviously, he
Yeah,
doesn't mean that, but
of
then you look
course.
back at what he did, and you go, "Oh,
Yeah, I think he meant that.
oh, yeah, I think he meant that." Fuck, that's not. That's part. But
Yeah.
again, if you just listen to who they are, like right. So as comedians, we're not really hiding anything, and I just think it's like I see those and they're meant for it's meant in a comedy lens. Like you see those funny TikToks or reels where guys go through the extreme to hide to stop their girlfriends. You know what I mean? Like they fell asleep and the girlfriend would like open their eye to be able to unlock the phone and whatever.
Right.
And guys go to extremes to be able to like they throw their phone out of the window or blah blah. Like
Mhm.
you're never gonna see what's on my phone. And I hand my phone to my wife on a daily. Like I'm like she's like
Sure.
yeah or like, hey, here, like she same thing, like she'll ask me for my phone, not give me any context. She's like, hey, give me your phone, and I'll give her my phone. And it turns out that she's trying to take a picture of something that's on her phone, whatever it is, whatever it
Mhm.
is. But I don't go why. I don't be like, why the fuck do you need my phone for? And I'm like, I just need
Yeah.
your phone. The other day, I was trying to find a reel that I sent her and I was like, I need your phone. And she gave me a phone and I'm trying to find a reel. And the reason I couldn't use my phone is because I was looking up a different conversation with a different friend to try to see if I could find this one reel. But she never
Yeah.
hesitated. Like, I don't understand. Like, so that logic, it's a weird thing where we're like, what do you hide? So why do you have your red receipts on? Like, I don't understand. Like, what the fuck? Just, you know,
I just
I've left,
yeah.
by the way, my red receipts are on and I don't do this often, but there's a few times where I've left people on red. I'm like, the conversation is over. I
Mhm.
read it. I'm not sending you another message. I read it. And
Yeah.
like for the most part, I really don't do that. For the most part, I really kind of like close. Like to close up conversations in a tight little bow. Like okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I don't care. I read it. Yeah, and what are we hiding for? What I don't understand this red receipt conversation for.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I fully agree with you. It's funny like if I I'm not married, but if I was, like I feel like our bit would be can I have your phone? And if I said why, the joke would then be that my wife would say because I want to see who's if you're cheating on me or not. And like that would be the joke. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because like of course I'm not.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, like that would
Hilarious.
be our bit. Because it's like what do you mean? Like just like it's kind of like I've had diabetes for my whole life and like back in the day before the pump and all that stuff, like you would have to take syringes and like take it. And one of my favorite things to do was like when people were like what's that, and I'd just be like I'm taking heroin. Like I would
Yeah.
just do that because and people would laugh because obviously they know I'm not taking heroin. You don't take heroin on your stomach, you take it on your arm. Like
Right.
it's
We all know
stupid.
that you put it's such a it was weird to see you take your diabetes medicine in between your toes. That was a little odd, but hey, to each his own, I guess.
Yeah,
So
the
funny.
insulin only comes in solid form, so I have to usually burn it on a
Yeah,
spoon. Like
on
just
a
like
spoon. Well, this
yeah.
is for my diabetes.
Yeah.
I wonder if there are heroin addicts claiming
Of
that. Like,
course
"Oh,
there
this is
are.
for
Are
my
you kidding
diabetes.
me? Of course there are.
It's
Of
for my
course there are.
diabetes. Like
It's
what?
my diabetes
Diabetes.
medication. I'm sure now they're calling it their Ozempic or something.
That's
Like just
funny.
like which
Yeah,
is crazy.
I gotta burn my own Zempic on a spoon. That's hilarious. That's
Yeah. It's
hilarious.
wild, bro.
Yeah,
Did
that's
you
hilarious.
by any chance I did go to the movies this weekend. I saw the Michael movie. Did you see Disclosure Day or no?
I love the fact that you saw the Michael movie on the week that it comes out on on video on
On
demand.
video.
I love that. You're like, I
Yeah.
finally went to go see the Michael movie in theaters. Your house, your living room. You went to your
Yeah,
living
yeah.
room.
No, I went to
Um.
the theater.
So
Still, it
you
was
asked?
full by the way. Full by the way, which was
It's still making
wild.
money. It's still
It's
making
still
money.
making money. It's
It's
wild. I was so surprised that there were that many people there.
Yeah, I've been noticing the Michael movie. Well, I've been noticing the box. I always notice the box office, but I've been
Yeah,
noticing
yeah.
that in the last few weeks, the box that he's still in like the top five. The
Yeah.
Michael movie is still coming in the top five.
Mhm.
Um, this is another topic that I kind of feel very um conflicted on
Yeah, we're
because
probably gonna agree on this too.
I'm a huge fan of his movies. Movies. I'm a huge fan
Music.
of his music. But I really do think he did that. I really do
Yeah.
think that he everything that he was accused of with kids. I know that he was. I know that he won his trial. I get that. There. If somebody were to make an argument to me defending Michael Jackson and those accusations of children, I would not. I would have no feet to stand on because he won the trial. Right. The trial says that he
Right.
was not guilty of it. And you are. I am okay with people to give an equivalent, right? When people defend Trump saying that he's not a pedophile, I was like, no, no, you're a piece of
Mhm.
shit because he's hiding something because that's why he's
Yeah.
not releasing the Epstein files and blah 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 blah.
Ask him
I
if you
would
can
not
borrow
have
his phone.
right. I would I would not. That's so funny. I would not have that reply if somebody were to defend Michael Jackson. Somebody defends Michael Jackson, I'll be like, yeah, you're right. I mean, but I
Yeah.
just the feeling that I get is I feel he still did it. Whether that's right or wrong of me to do that, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
That's just the way I am. That's just the way I feel. I saw that the documentary a few years ago. Where those two guys came forward,
Yeah.
and I believed them, and I
Yeah.
just believed the victims. I believed them.
Well,
And because of that,
there's
I just don't want to support that family with my money for the movies.
well,
I
I
just
I
can't.
totally I totally get it. And like I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum, but I also it's weird because like some look, man, I wasn't there. I have no idea. You know what I
Correct.
mean? Like, and
Absolutely, yeah.
I have no idea. And like, I want to believe that those people were right. However, the HBO documentary that was made, Leaving Neverland, is off of HBO because both of those people have admitted that it was a lie.
Oh, is that true?
Um,
Is
yeah,
that thing? I did not know
yeah,
that. I did not know
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That
They
makes me feel
admitted
better
that.
about it. All right.
Yeah, so you can watch it at home now. But
Yeah, I could watch it at home now and jerk
yeah,
off at
so
home.
like
Um, but
but like but
that's not what everybody
look,
was doing in the theater. Everybody
at
in the
the
theater wasn't jerking
at
off to Michael Jackson.
yeah, at the end of the day, and the truth is, there's it's just hard. Like my
That's
whole
interesting. I did
thing,
not know that. That makes me feel a lot better about it, to be honest with you.
yeah,
That really does relieve a lot of because I was that guy that's like again, like I said, like I just said, I was like, I didn't want to believe it. I did not want to
of
believe that about Michael.
course,
I did
yeah,
not
you
want
don't
to
want
believe
to,
that. I was
yeah.
like, I don't want to believe that. But I was like, I can't just not believe these two guys. But if they are, all right, that's good to know.
Look, one thing that man was guilty of, and I would say that to his face if he was still alive, the thing he was guilty of was being weird as fuck. Like,
Super weird. Yeah.
like he was 100% weird. Like, but whether or not he touched children, I don't know. You know,
Right.
but one thing I will say, which I did not know this, my friend who was with me when I saw Michael told me that he saw a documentary that because Michael Jackson's name was on the Epstein list,
Yeah.
and he said that apparently what happened was he went once, saw what was happening with all the children, left, and then that's why he built Neverland, so he
Yeah,
could have a place
I've
for children.
I heard that too, but that kind of seemed like that which is a dope story.
Yeah,
But
if true,
also
if true, that's a cool
if
story.
true, like that's what I'm saying. Like that's one of those stories where you hear, you go, oh, that's great, and you're like, is that real? Is that a real, like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, just going back to what we talked about earlier, is that real? Did that really happen?
of
But
course.
it is a dope story. It is a dope story
Yeah,
that's why he built Neverland.
yeah. If true, then that's a really cool story.
But also, you were really rich. You could have probably got some of those kids out. No, like, blow the
I think
whistle. Like, I
so.
don't
Yeah,
know, blow the whistle.
yeah.
Like, just,
I don't know,
so
man. One
weird.
of my, dude, and I tell people this any chance I get to talk about Michael Jackson. My absolute favorite Michael Jackson clip that has ever been made ever is there's a documentary that's being made. I think it's like a 60 minutes or something, and he is at an art gallery, and everything costs billions of dollars. And he's walking around with a guy with a clipboard, and he's just going, "I'll take that. I'll take
Yeah,
that. I'll take
yeah,
that."
that.
And
That's
it's just like that guy was made of money. Like it
yeah.
is
That guy's just
unreal
like,
how
he's
much
doing
money
it.
that guy
I
had.
think at one point he pointed to something that was just like structural part of the store. It's like, no, that's a column that's holding up the building. And he's like, yeah, I'll take the whole building.
I'll take the
I'll
whole
take the whole
building.
building. He's like, what the fuck? It's like, he's just like, what? No, that doesn't. No, that's
Dude,
not. Oh, okay, yeah.
John Stamos has the funniest story about Michael Jackson where like Michael Jackson and John Stamos are both very big Disney memorabilia people.
Mm-hmm.
And John Stamos went to an auction where Michael Jackson couldn't make it because he was on tour, and he got um, the original like signage of Disneyland on the outside of the park, like just the original
Sure.
signage. And it's like, I mean, it's worth like millions and millions of dollars. It's literally, it was made, it's the first Disneyland sign ever made.
Yeah, it's a
And
one of one.
yeah, it's a one of one. And he said he goes, at least twice a week until he died, he would get a call, and there would be an assistant who would go, Mr. Stamos, Michael on the phone for you. And then he'd go, can I have it? Like every That's just
That's
the funniest story. Like just
can I have it? That's the name. That's the
he
title of
already
that's the title of the episode. Can I have it?
like he didn't even say like, hi, my name it's Michael Jackson, like nothing. Just can I have it? And no,
Can I have?
Michael. Like
No,
just
Michael, you can't have it. So funny. He wasn't.
yeah.
He was. I like the fact that he wasn't even saying, "Hey, I'll pay you X amount of
Yeah.
millions of dollars." He was
He
just saying,
just
"Can I
he
have it?"
said, can I have it? Yeah.
And like,
Can I have
that's
it?
such a
It's
yeah.
so funny, dude.
He
But yeah,
yeah.
did you see apparently Disclosure Day is doing really well, but I have heard that people are not liking it for some reason.
Interesting. What's the Rotten Tomatoes on it? Do we know what the Rotten Tomatoes
I
on it
don't know.
is?
I usually don't care about that stuff,
I
but
don't care
like
either.
yeah, yeah.
I like the audience score though. I do like looking at the audience score. I don't care about the critics. I care about the
Yeah.
audience score because the audience score is usually pretty on brand, unless it's like a there are a few times were like
Like the
Star Wars
Snyder cut or
movies
something.
and Snyder, like Star Wars or DC, where the trolls will come out and start bashing it. Like, I don't like it when they do that before the movie even comes out. It's like, no,
Same.
you can't. The movie hasn't even come out yet. What are you talking about?
Mhm.
But I'm interested in. So I'm interested in Disclosure for a couple of reasons. One, it's Spielberg, right? Spielberg
Yeah.
is one of the directors on my list that it should be on everybody's list that you go, I'll watch anything that he makes, right? Anything
100%.
that they make, I'll just watch it. Doesn't mean that I like or love everything that Spielberg has made,
Right.
but for the most part, he's earned that. He's earned the I'll go watch it.
Mhm.
But it's an alien thing again, and I'm just
Mhm.
like, this guy really loves aliens, man. He
He really
really believes in
does.
aliens. He really loves
Mhm.
aliens. So that's the reason why I don't know if I know I'm gonna watch it, but I don't know how fast I'm gonna rush to watch it. Is because the
Yeah.
aliens thing doesn't
I don't know if
really.
it's a theater watch for me.
I don't know if it's a yeah, if it's rushing to go watch it, because I don't recall the last time I saw an alien movie that I was rushing to go watch. Now, I will
Right.
say that the movie that I talked about last week that I love you so much, Project Hail Mary, has an
Yeah.
alien in it.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that going into the movie.
Yeah. Right.
So
Right.
therefore, it wasn't like I'm gonna go. I'm not saying that I don't. I'm not even saying that I'm not a fan of movies that have aliens in it. I'm saying I don't rush to go watch these movies. I
Right.
don't rush to go. There's another one about the whole street moved. Remember that? What's the one I sent you that trailer? I forgot the name of the movie. Uh
I absolutely loved that trailer because I
that
was
trailer's
like,
fantastic. I thought it was gonna be
because I
aliens, but it's apparently dinosaurs.
yeah, that's the coolest. See, if I mean, whoever directed it, I'm sure is great, but if that was the Spielberg movie where it's like where it was like, oh, they're tricking you into thinking it's aliens, but then the left turn is that it's dinosaurs,
Yeah,
man, that would be crazy. Cuz
yeah.
that's like such a Spielberg move, but yeah. I it looks really cool, yeah.
But I do like the idea of Disclosure Day. I do like. I do want to see it. I do want to watch it. But
We're
yeah,
getting
I,
closer and closer to it being real.
oh
So
my god, it's we're, we're there's a. Did you get that? Did you see that meme where there's a Venn diagram, but the Venn diagram is made with actual DVDs, and it says you are here, and the DVDs are Terminator 2, The
yeah,
Matrix, and Idiocracy. And
that's so funny.
we're in the middle of these three DVDs, and like, yeah, you are here. Like, holy shit, we are in this Venn diagram of what the fuck is
Dude,
happening?
to
What is
to
happening?
funny enough, to close the Venn diagram, there's a Nate Bargatze joke that's very funny where he's like COVID was so bad they just said that there's aliens and people didn't care. Like
Yeah,
people are just like, okay, do they have COVID? I don't know. Like
yeah,
just
yeah.
like
They better cover their mouth. They put a
yeah.
mask on. They put a mask on this.
my
Yeah, give
favorite
a
my favorite thing that he says on that special is the best thing about COVID is that it allows people to only be able to cough twice. And he says, and he goes, man, it made me realize how much my parents love coughing.
oh, it's so funny. There was a clip I posted during COVID, right when we were coming back, right after, but we were still in the mask wearing 6 feet apart phase, but we were now allowed to gather. And I was at a comedy club, and I was doing a joke, and you could hear me. I was doing a joke, and then you could hear the guy coughing or
Yeah.
sneezing. It was a sneeze. You could hear a guy sneezing, and
I
then
was
he
with
sneezed.
you, wasn't I?
And then no, and then he sneezed
Okay.
again, and then he sneezed again, and I stopped my joke in the middle of the fucking joke. I go, "That's two. You one more, you're fucking out. Like, I'm just telling you that
Yeah.
right now. Everybody, as you're sneezing, everybody, you're fucking freaking everybody out. Nobody's paying attention to my jokes because they're all worried about your fucking sneezes. That's
Yeah.
two. You get one more, and you're fucking out of here." And the whole crowd erupted laughing.
Oh
But it
yeah.
was like, it was, dude.
Which would have made the problem worse, but
Yeah, I had never in my life, during my career been so cognizant of somebody sneezing and how many times that person has sneezed than when I was during COVID. Like,
yeah.
the fact that I'm doing a joke, I'm telling a joke and making people laugh and having a good time, and I'm like, did you fucking, like, that was twice? You just like that. I just always love that moment. I have it posted somewhere 1,000 years ago, but yeah,
Something that's so great, and we can because we've both had moments like this that we'll never ever have again, is
ever.
the 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 feeling of like the biggest laugh in the room where we know that 50% of it is just the fact that people are scared, you know?
Yeah,
And like, cause I'll never forget it. I think it was the show I did with you, but I did a show and there were so many people in there and it was finally like people were getting back in there and there were people with masks, without masks, and like if you had a mask it was like a political decision. And I made a joke where I was like, man, there are so many people here, if somebody farts we're getting it. And
yeah,
and it erupted the room. Like,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
was just like, oh, like we're never gonna get a laugh like that ever again because like we're
Never.
just making fun of like how all of us are gonna die.
Well, my daughter was born. My youngest was born during COVID, and
Yeah.
she'll never understand. Like, to explain that to somebody when she, in 10 years, when she's 15, to explain, hey, there was a time
Yeah.
that you technically were alive for, but you were an infant. That I couldn't go watch you. I couldn't watch her go be born because I had a cold. I had COVID. You know, I had this COVID thing,
Yeah.
and like to explain that to people, like it's like what? Everybody was
Dude,
closed. All the stores were closed. There was no
it's
toilet paper
crazy.
for some reason. Like I don't know. I don't know how to
I
explain
I
this.
I've been doing this joke for a little while. It's brand new, but I I say I joke about like being Cuban and all this stuff, but then I say I'm American, and I know I'm American because my birthday's on December 7th and I hate surprises. And that's a funny joke, but a lot of I've noticed that a lot of people don't remember Pearl Harbor, right?
Right. Yeah.
And now it's gotten to a point where it has to be about 9/11 because that's
Yeah.
the next tragedy that everyone remembers. So
Correct.
now the tag that I have to do is I go, Pearl Harbor Day for remembering it. Like,
Yeah. For real. You know, it's funny. My mom's birthday is on 9/11. My mom's birthday is
yeah,
September 11th. Yeah. So
yeah,
that's a whole thing. Yeah. It's a whole thing. And I was like, oh, nobody remembers December
yeah,
7th. Yeah.
yeah. It's
That's
crazy, dude. It's
that's a
so
crazy time.
crazy.
What did we talk about? Did we talk about the whole thing? Oh yeah, disclosure. So disclosure day. But I hate to say it, like Spielberg makes great movies, but I don't remember the last Spielberg movie I saw in theaters.
Me neither. Me
I
neither.
I don't.
I think the last one, I mean, and this
He did the
is
one about his life, about his childhood, but I didn't see that
yeah,
in
the
theaters.
Fablemans. I
The
didn't see
Fableman,
that
but I
in
did.
theaters.
Yeah,
I didn't see Lincoln in theaters.
did not see that in
Um,
theaters either.
I didn't see Warhorse at all. Um, I
I
think
still haven't seen War Horse.
yeah, I
They
haven't
made a
seen
play out
Warhorse.
of it.
Yeah, they sure did. They
I
sure
haven't
did.
seen
I
it.
think the last movie I saw in theaters was Saving Private Ryan.
The last Spielberg movie. I'd be
God,
interested to
is it
remember.
that long ago?
Was Bridge of Spies Spielberg?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
So yeah, I saw Bridge of Spies.
I didn't see that in theaters. Yeah,
I
I
saw that in
didn't see
theaters.
any of those because that's a sequel to the Da Vinci Code.
No, no, Bridge of Spies is with Tom Hanks. Is not Da Vinci Code related. No,
Oh, okay. Okay.
no, no. It's
I
Cold
think
War. It's the Cold War. It's the whole thing. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's kind of strange because like you start to think about it and like Spielberg is like he kind of has a holy trinity of things where it's like it's the trinity of like um aliens, war and not having a dad.
Sure.
Like
Well, yeah. Oh,
and like that's
every movie, he has a whole dad thing in every movie.
yeah.
Have you seen? Did you see the documentary Spielberg on HBO?
Yeah, I love that
That was
documentary.
so good.
It was
It
so
made you
good.
remember how brilliant he was. You go, oh
Of
wow, this guy really
course.
is brilliant.
Especially so young, man, like so young and like and because when we tend to forget, especially because we look at pictures of Spielberg and like he kind of looks the same. Like
Yeah,
he looks younger, but he also just looks the same. Like he's always just been a guy wearing trucker hats with his
yeah,
with the movie on a patch on it. And he was like in his 20s, wasn't he? When he was
yeah, yeah.
which
When he
is
did Jaws,
wild.
when he did
Like
Jaws, yeah.
that's insane. Like
He
just like
I just showed my daughter Rocky for the first time, my older daughter Rocky, and she
mhm.
was like, I was just like, I set it up for her. I was like, hey, just to let you know, there's a lot of talkie, so you got to pay attention in this movie. It's like
Mhm.
it's a boxing movie, but it's not a boxing movie. Just to let you know. So she's very much into like, and I'll pause the movie and be like, because she'll say things like the movie starts off with a Rocky in a boxing match, but it's like it's like the open mic of boxing matches. It's
Yeah.
just like it's an amateur box, whatever, and then right after the fight, he asked for a cigarette, and she was like, "He's an athlete. Why is he smoking?" And it's like, so then I start putting things together for her. I'm like, how? So what do you think that means? If he's boxing and he's a smoker, like, what do you think? And he's like, well, he's not taking care of his body. I'm like, okay, well, there's also the point of the fact that this is the '70s, but what do you think that means? And kept asking her. I didn't want to draw the conclusion for her, but I kept asking her, and she's like, "Well, he's not taking this seriously." I'm like, "There you go. Here we go."
Yeah.
So like now we start. So then later on during the movie, when he quit smoking and he quit drinking to get in shape, and she's like, "Now this is taking him more of a serious." I'm like, "There you go." Sorry. And then I go, "What do you think that means?" He goes, "This his character. He's developing now the what he needs. He's taking." And I'm like, "All right, here we go." So like I'm forcing you to watch movies that are not specifically for kids or whatever, but yeah, the fact that Spielberg had that inherently in him as a child is wild to me. Like that, like
There
you're like,
is there is a movie I immediately thought of you, and I think it's okay for me to say this. I didn't sign anything, so it should be okay. But there's a movie coming out, and I know about it because I just auditioned for it. But there is a movie coming out that is about the making of Rocky.
yeah, yeah, no, yeah,
So like
there's, I know
so
about
it's
it. Yeah,
very
yeah.
very cool and interesting. I wonder how it's gonna do. You know, I don't
I
know.
Yeah, I wonder how it's. I'm looking forward to it as well. There's another one up. Another one about Rambo,
Yeah.
but it's gonna be a TV series.
Hmm.
But so anyway, so I'm a big fan of Spielberg, but I don't know the last time I remember. I don't remember the last movie I saw in theaters of his. This is a weird
Yeah,
thing to say.
it's been a while because
I'm
it's
looking more
funny.
forward to Supergirl, which is again, this is a weird thing to say. Like, hey, have you seen Disclosure Day? Like, no, but Supergirl comes out soon. I was like, what? What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, like it's yeah, and especially I never, you know, you're a Superman fan, but like Superman was kind of always my least favorite, of all the superheroes. But
Sure.
since James Gunn took over, it's now been like, oh, like I actually really enjoy these movies now.
Yeah.
Because the way that James Gunn created the universe, and like especially the most important thing is that James Gunn like really reminds the audience, and specifically me when I was watching it, that Superman's power is kindness. Like that's his actual power.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and so like because before then, and to be fair, like I was never a Christopher Reeves I never watched the Christopher Reeves movies. I did later, but I never grew up watching them. What I really
Yeah.
grew up watching was the animated series. Like I
Sure.
watched the Superman animated series, and it's so like I just remember it being very, and also I remember the Adventures of Lois and Clark, which is arguably the worst Superman,
Yeah.
especially personally. but
Yeah.
like,
On
but
a personal level, yeah, a piece
on
of
a
shit. Yeah.
personal level, just the worst version of Superman. But I just remember it being like, oh, like this guy is just Jesus. Like what's the point?
Well,
But
my whole love affair with Superman was always the other side of that coin of what you're talking
yeah,
about is was always it wasn't that he was super strong and it wasn't the powers per se. It was the fact that he had all these powers and and he chose to help people. Like that to
yeah,
me was always on a subconscious level when I was a kid. That was always my main thing. Was always like my always affection and for the character was always like he could rule us. He would absolutely like governments will fall to him, and
hmm,
he chooses not to do that, and it's all because of his parents. And I don't want to say
yeah,
all, but it's mainly because of his parents. And then later on, when I got older, they wrote stories like the Red Sun, where he landed in Moscow during the Cold War, and and I thought that was a brilliant way of telling that story, where that's what I loved about him. It's like that Boy Scout, what a lot of people seem to find boring. Like, oh, he's just a boring, yeah, I know, but
yeah,
you're right. The kindness is his superpower. Like that's another way of saying is like he could rule us all. He could be a god, and he chooses not to be. Like he
yeah.
chooses not to be. Like who? Like that's a thing. Most
And
people,
to be completely fair, that is Jesus.
yes, that's yeah. So that's why I agreed with you.
which a lot
That's
of
why I
which a lot of Christians would not agree with me.
yeah. That's exactly why
Like,
you said he was just Jesus. I go, well, yeah, that's what makes him great. That's what made
yeah.
he's like just
Well, that's what I'm
uh
saying is like that new window is like, oh, like I kind of liked it. I kind of like this whole thing of like, yeah, like he kind of is Jesus. Like
yeah,
he could 100% let us all fall to his royalty, but chooses kindness and chooses to
right.
save us. Like that's the whole purpose, but yeah, there are a lot of Christians that
It's
are
so
all
funny
about
because
like it's the powers.
Snyder did the same thing, but just in a different way. And I
Hmm.
think a lot of people don't see that. And again, I prefer, James Gunn's Superman over Snyder's, but I really have a deep affection for Snyder's Superman. But he did kind of the same thing, right? Where Lex Luthor was saying like a god, a god is either all powerful or all good. If he's all good, he can't be all powerful, and if he's all powerful, he can't be all good.
Right.
And that's like that kind of like
Yin
that
yang, yeah.
that yin yang thing that is basically saying what we're saying now, that kindness is his superpower, and that
Mm-hmm.
he, when he gets up and he's being handcuffed, and Lewis is like, you let them handcuff you, and he's like, it makes them feel better, like little things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like it lets them feel better. It's like it
Can
wouldn't
you
be
imagine
me.
if that was in the Bible? You let them
Yeah,
handcuff you, it just makes them feel better.
it makes them feel better, man. What are you doing? It's just like, so that's it. That's what
That's so
Superman was.
funny.
Superman was like a version of Jesus, where he's like, look, I'm gonna let you arrest me. Like, I'm the son of God, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
let you
yeah.
arrest
You're
me, and I'm
right.
gonna let you
You're
persecute me.
absolutely right.
And then he gets up, Snyder Superman gets up, and then he just breaks off the handcuffs, and everybody's like, "Oh my God!" It's like, yeah, man, it's
Yeah.
like it's fine, It's so
Yeah.
but so Snyder was doing it in his way. It's just a darker version. It's just not
Right.
as overtly verbally saying kindness is my super. Like, that's not. It's just a very.
Of course.
I always like. There's a lot of things I like about each alliteration of these characters, right? So like
Mm.
we've seen Superman in multiple versions. We've seen Batman. There's a lot of things I like about Bale's Batman.
Yeah.
Actually, there's not. But there's a lot of things I
Really?
like. I don't like Bale's Batman. He's just so.
You don't like his
I
Bruce
like
Wayne either?
that's what I was gonna say. I like Bale's
Okay.
Bruce Wayne. That's
Okay, because I agree with that.
that's
I think his Bruce Wayne is one of the better ones.
yeah. His Bruce Wayne is one of the better ones. I will say that his Bruce
I
Wayne
think
is dope.
Affleck is the one that got both of them correct, though.
Yes, that's my again, but I'm a Snyder guy, so whenever I say that, it's always
No, I
tinted
could
with.
say that as a person that's not a Snyder person. I
But
think
that's what I'm saying.
Affleck
Coming
is
from
is
you,
the
that's what I'm saying.
guy.
Coming from you, it holds more weight because
Mhm.
I'm a Snyder guy. People are like, "Oh, you're just saying." I'm like, "Well, no, I could be both. I could be a Snyder person and give a fair." But Bale did great with Bruce Wayne. He lost me when he was doing that fucking voice. That voice is
Sure.
awful. But what
So
makes me
that's what it
laugh.
feels like. Who are
So
you
that's what
talking to?
who he talking to, and like, but he did the same thing when he's like, Bane shows him, Bane blows up the fucking Wayne Tower, right?
Yeah.
Shows him, I know who you are. Says out loud, "Hey, Mr. Wayne," blah 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 blah, and then he continues with the voice. He's like, "Who are you doing that for?
Yeah.
Who
Everyone
he's
knows who you are now.
not he no, but Bane told you he knows who you are. He
Yeah.
blew up the fucking building. He's showing you your artillery. He's showing you your fucking cars. Showing you, he not only does he say your name, but he's showing you, hey, I know who the fuck you are.
Mhm.
And you're still with the voice. Like, who are you protecting?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, the
What are
third
you doing?
movie
Yeah, what are you doing?
was tough, man. It didn't it doesn't stick to landing. I mean, ultimately, you know, the the Dark Knight is like arguably one of the best Batman movies ever, but I only say that because of performances. Like
Yeah.
if it weren't for basically if it weren't for Heath Ledger, it would just be like a fine Batman movie.
It's
You know what I mean?
I think it's really good, but not great. I think it's really good. It has really good thing. The directing is really good. Nolan did really
Mhm.
great in that movie. One of the things that I can't shake, because I was always thinking about this, but Daniel Tosh put it into words, and I could never, and now I can't just shake it. Where they're
Yeah.
fighting over Maggie Gyllenhaal, and I was always like, "You're fighting over Maggie Gyllenhaal?" Like, I could understand
Yeah.
fighting over Katie Holmes, but Maggie Gyllenhaal, that was my joke. I was like, I could understand fighting over Katie Holmes, but Maggie Gyllenhaal. And then
Yeah.
the way Daniel Tosh said, he goes, "Are we really fighting over a seven?" I'm like, "Oh fuck." That's so fucking good. God damn it. That's so good. That's such a better joke. Not to
Are
body
we
shame Maggie
fighting over
Gyllenhaal, but the
No,
phrase
but
"Are we fighting
she's
over a
Jake
seven"
Gyllenhaal
is
with a
so funny.
wig. She's
No,
Jake
Jake
Gyllenhaal with
Gyllenhaal
a
is
wig.
way better looking. Jake Gyllenhaal is so pretty, so much prettier. Oh my god. I would understand fighting for Jake Gyllenhaal. I would fight for Jake Gyllenhaal all day. Yeah, man.
Yeah, fair
Um,
enough. There's
no,
I
but
will say about that movie in particular that I'll never shake is that in the same scene, the scene where uh the Joker is out in the alleyway and he's doing the hit me, and then the
yeah,
truck flips over.
yeah,
That is a practical effect. That was a real truck.
yeah.
And two things happened in that shot that they had to keep. Which is that it killed the driver, which sucks.
Oof.
It killed the driver, and
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that. And it's so funny
yeah,
because I rewatched that movie like a month ago. And when that flip happened, I was like, oh, the Joker would die. Like I literally said that. I literally said,
yeah,
I'm like, the Joker would die. There's no way he
yeah.
would survive that.
Well, so much so the driver that was in the stunt
Right.
driver died. Yeah. So like the
Sad.
stunt driver died, and the IMAX camera that they were shooting was completely decimated by
Jesus Christ.
and it was so funny because at the time there were only 2 IMAX cameras in production, and Nolan broke one of them, which I
That's
think
so
is
funny.
so funny. That like
That's so
so
funny.
he owes IMAX, like, I mean now it's probably fine, but like it's he owed them like millions and millions of dollars because like he broke like one of the only 2 that were made at the time.
That's
And
so
now
funny.
it's a little bit easier because like, you know, IMAX is such a thing that people want to see now, you know, ever since
Yeah.
like, especially ever since like Sinners and things. But yeah, like, yeah, now it's a whole thing. But I'm
Uh,
excited for the Odyssey. I'm
I'm
sure
excited.
you are too.
I'm excited for the Odyssey as well, man. I can't wait to watch it on my iPhone, as Nolan intended.
As Nolan intended for us to watch it on our iPhones.
Anyways, all right, man. Listen, we're gonna wrap up. That's our time. Thank you guys for
Heck
checking out
yeah.
the podcast, the What's Up Bro podcast. Check us out, Mike Valdes. His handle is Mike Valdes. My handle is at Nery Saenz on all social media. You can check him up at that's thekidfromup.com. Correct? Is
Yep.
that it? The
That's
kid
it.
from up, thekidfromup.com. Mine is whatwashisname.com. Check out all the socials there. We appreciate you for checking us out. Go follow us. Go watch our comedy. Go do that. Go watch Mike's commercial, man. His Walmart commercial is fantastic. I can't wait to
Yeah.
watch the rest of them.
Yeah,
So
they'll be
it's gonna
up
be dope.
soon.
All right, man. All right. Thank you guys for checking us out. That's how winning is done.